In the heart of a bustling urban neighborhood, where the sounds of laughter mingled with the distant hum of traffic, lived a young man named Malik Johnson. At just 17 years old, Malik was known for his infectious smile and unwavering determination. He was a bright student at Lincoln High School, where he excelled in his studies and participated in various extracurricular activities. But what set Malik apart was not just his academic prowess, it was his dream, a dream that many in his community found hard to believe. Malik aspired to become a police officer. Growing up in a neighborhood where interactions with law enforcement were often fraught with tension, this dream was both ambitious and courageous. He had witnessed firsthand the struggles faced by his friends and family when dealing with police officers who were often seen as adversaries rather than allies. Yet Malik believed that change was possible. He wanted to be part of that change, to bridge the gap between the community and those sworn to protect it. His mother, Angela Johnson, was a single parent who worked 2 jobs to provide for Malik and his younger sister, Aisha. Angela had always encouraged her children to pursue their dreams, no matter how difficult they seemed. She often reminded Malik of the importance of education and integrity. "You have to be the change you want to see in this world," she would say, her eyes filled with pride and hope. Malik's journey toward becoming a police officer wasn't just about wearing a badge. It was about changing perceptions, both within himself and among those around him. He volunteered at local youth programs, mentoring younger kids and teaching them about respect, responsibility, and the importance of community service. He often spoke at school assemblies about his aspirations, urging his peers to see law enforcement as partners in creating a safer environment, rather than as figures of fear. Despite his positive outlook, Malik faced skepticism from many in his community. "Why would you want to be one of them?" some would ask, shaking their heads in disbelief. Others shared stories of friends or family members who had negative encounters with police officers. But Malik remained steadfast in his belief that not all officers were bad, that there were good people in uniform who genuinely wanted to help. One afternoon, while walking home from school with his best friend Jamal, they passed by a local convenience store. The sun was shining brightly, casting long shadows on the pavement as they laughed about their upcoming basketball game. Jamal nudged Malik playfully. "You know, if you keep this up, you'll be wearing that badge before we know it," he joked. Malik chuckled, but felt a pang of seriousness in Jamal's words. "I really hope so," he replied thoughtfully. "I want to show people that we can change things from within." As they continued their walk home, Malik's mind wandered to. As they moved closer to the store entrance, they could see through the glass doors that chaos reigned inside. A masked figure stood behind the counter, brandishing a weapon while demanding money from the terrified clerk. The sight sent chills down Malik's spine. This was not just an event on the news. It was happening right before their eyes. In that moment of fear and uncertainty, something ignited within Malik, a sense of duty that transcended panic. He remembered all those discussions about bravery and standing up for what is right. Now was his chance to put those lessons into action. "Stay here," he whispered urgently to Jamal before stepping back into the shadows. He needed a plan, one that would allow him to intervene without putting himself or anyone else in danger. Malik quickly scanned the area for anything he could use as an advantage, a distraction perhaps. His eyes landed on a stack of crates outside the store. With adrenaline coursing through him, he quietly moved toward them, while keeping an eye on the robber inside. Taking a deep breath to steady himself, Malik picked up one of the crates and positioned it behind him for support. Then he shouted at the top of his lungs, "Hey! You! Get away from him!" The robber turned abruptly at Malik's voice, surprised by this unexpected confrontation, and for a brief moment, time seemed to freeze. The clerk looked up in shock, while Jamal gasped from behind cover. "Who do you think you are?" the robber sneered, but hesitated as he assessed this bold teenager standing defiantly outside. "I'm not afraid of you," Malik shouted back with more confidence than he felt inside. "You need to leave now." The standoff continued for what felt like an eternity. Then suddenly, without warning, Malik lunged forward toward the entrance, his heart pounding fiercely in his chest as he prepared himself for whatever might happen next. This segment sets up Malik's character and background while introducing key themes such as courage and community perception regarding law enforcement. You can continue building on this foundation in subsequent segments as you develop the story further. The moment Malik lunged toward the store entrance, adrenaline surged through his veins. Time seemed to slow as he crossed the threshold into the chaos inside. The robber, startled by Malik's sudden appearance, momentarily lost focus on the clerk, who was trembling behind the counter. Malik could see the fear in the clerk's eyes, a mixture of desperation and hope. "Get down," Malik shouted, instinctively positioning himself between the robber and the clerk. He could feel his heart racing, but he forced himself to stay calm. "You don't have to do this. Just walk away." The robber, a young man with wild eyes and a mask covering his face, looked taken aback by Malik's boldness. "Who do you think you are?" he spat, gripping the weapon tighter. "You think you can just come in here and play hero?" Malik glanced around, searching for anything that could help him defuse the situation. The store was small, cluttered with shelves of snacks and drinks, but it felt suffocating in that moment. He noticed a few customers crouched behind aisles, their faces pale with fear. He knew they were counting on him. "Listen," Malik said, trying to keep his voice steady. "You don't want to hurt anyone. You can just leave. No one has to get hurt today." The robber hesitated, uncertainty flickering across his face. Malik seized the opportunity to step closer, maintaining eye contact. "You're better than this," he urged. "Whatever you're going through, there's another way out." For a brief moment, it seemed as if Malik's words were reaching him. The tension in the air thickened as silence enveloped the store. But then anger flared in the robber's eyes once more. "Shut up!" he yelled, raising the weapon threateningly. Malik felt a surge of fear, but stood his ground. He remembered his mother's words about bravery and integrity, about standing up for what is right, even when it's hard. "I won't let you hurt anyone," he declared firmly. Suddenly, Jamal burst into action from outside. He had been watching the scene unfold and couldn't stand by any longer. "Malik, get back," he shouted as he rushed into the store. "Jamal, no," Malik cried out. But it was too late. Jamal's presence startled the robber again. In that split second of distraction, Malik took advantage of the moment and lunged forward. He grabbed a nearby display stand and knocked it over toward the robber, creating a loud crash that echoed through the store. The robber stumbled back in shock as Malik shouted again, "Run! Everyone get out!" Customers began to scramble for safety, ducking behind shelves and rushing toward the exit as panic set in. The clerk took advantage of the chaos and ducked out from behind the counter. In that moment of confusion, Malik felt a rush of determination wash over him. He had to act quickly before things escalated further. With every ounce of courage he could muster, he charged at the robber again. "Stop!" Malik yelled as he tackled him to the ground. They both fell hard onto the tile floor, with Malik on top. The weapon slipped from the robber's hand and skidded across the floor. The two struggled briefly before Malik managed to pin him down with his knee on his chest. "You're done," he shouted, breathing heavily as he held him in place. Just then, sirens wailed in the distance. Help was on its way. Malik could hear Jamal shouting for everyone to stay calm outside while they waited for police assistance. The robber squirmed beneath him, but Malik held firm, adrenaline coursing through his body as he realized what he had just done. Moments later, police officers burst through the door with their weapons drawn. "Hands up! Show us your hands," they commanded. Malik quickly raised his hands in surrender while still keeping pressure on the robber beneath him. I've got him," he shouted over the chaos. The officers rushed forward and quickly assessed the situation. One officer grabbed hold of Malik's shoulder reassuringly, while another cuffed the robber, who was now subdued on the floor. "You did good," one officer said to Malik as they helped him stand up. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," Malik replied breathlessly, still processing everything that had just happened. As officers took control of the scene and ensured everyone was safe, Malik felt a mix of relief and disbelief wash over him. He had acted bravely when faced with danger, something he had always dreamed of doing as an officer himself. Once things settled down and everyone was accounted for outside in front of the store, reporters began to arrive at the scene to cover what had happened. News cameras were rolling as witnesses recounted their experiences. Malik stood among them alongside Jamal and other community members who had been present during the incident. He felt a wave of gratitude wash over him as people began to express their admiration for his actions. "You're a hero," one woman exclaimed tearfully as she hugged him tightly. Malik smiled shyly, but felt overwhelmed by all this attention. This wasn't why he had intervened. He simply wanted to help. As news reporters began interviewing him about what had happened inside, Malik found himself speaking not just about stopping a robbery, but about why he wanted to become a police officer in the first place, to change perceptions and show that young black men could be heroes too. "I want people to see that we can make a difference," Malik said passionately into the camera. "We need more good people in law enforcement who understand our communities." His words resonated deeply with those listening, both in person and through their screens at home, and sparked conversations about trust between law enforcement and communities of color. As police officers escorted them away from the scene for their safety and took statements from witnesses, including Jamal, Malik couldn't shake off how surreal everything felt. This was a defining moment, not only for himself, but also for those around him who had witnessed it all unfold. Little did he know how this event would change not only his life, but also how others viewed young black men in their community moving forward. This segment captures the intensity of the robbery incident while highlighting Malik's bravery and determination to make a difference in his community. You can continue building on this foundation in subsequent segments as you develop further aspects of Malik's journey. The chaos of the robbery began to settle as police officers secured the scene and gathered statements from witnesses. Malik stood to the side, still processing what had just happened. The adrenaline that had fueled him moments ago was now giving way to a mix of exhaustion and disbelief. He had never imagined he would find himself in such a situation, one that would not only test his courage, but also define his character. As the officers interviewed him, Malik noticed a small crowd gathering outside the convenience store. Neighbors and friends, drawn by the commotion, began to murmur among themselves. Some were visibly shaken, while others expressed admiration for Malik's bravery. He could hear snippets of conversations as people recounted their own experiences with crime and law enforcement. "Did you see how he tackled that guy?" one neighbor exclaimed. "That kid is a hero." Malik's cheeks flushed at the praise. He didn't feel like a hero. He had simply done what he thought was right in that moment. But as more people approached him, thanking him for his bravery, he began to understand the impact of his actions. Angela Johnson, Malik's mother, rushed through the crowd, her eyes wide with concern. "Malik, are you okay?" she cried, wrapping her arms around him tightly. Relief washed over her face as she pulled back to examine him for any injuries. "I'm fine, Mom," Malik reassured her, though he could see the worry etched in her features. I couldn't let anything happen to that clerk." Angela nodded, pride swelling in her chest despite her fear. "You did something incredible today," she said softly. "I'm so proud of you." As they spoke, Jamal joined them, his expression a mix of awe and disbelief. "Man, you were amazing back there," he said, slapping Malik on the back. "I can't believe you tackled that guy." Malik shrugged modestly. "I just did what I had to do." The police officers finished their interviews and began to disperse the crowd, but not before one officer approached Malik again. "You really showed a lot of courage today," he said sincerely. "We need more young men like you in our communities." Malik felt a surge of hope at those words. Perhaps this was a turning point, not just for himself, but for how others viewed young black men in their neighborhoods. As news of Malik's bravery spread throughout the community and beyond, local media outlets began reporting on the incident. The story highlighted not only the robbery, but also Malik's heroic actions and his aspirations to become a police officer. In the days that followed, Malik found himself at the center of attention in ways he had never anticipated. Interviews with local news stations featured clips of him recounting his experience and sharing his vision for positive change within law enforcement. "I want people to understand that we can work together," he told one reporter during an interview at Lincoln High School. "I believe in building trust between our communities and police officers. We need more understanding, on both sides." His words resonated deeply with viewers across the city and sparked conversations about race relations and policing in their community. Social media buzzed with support for Malik as people shared his story far and wide. At school, Malik became somewhat of a celebrity overnight. Students approached him in hallways, congratulating him on his bravery and expressing admiration for his dream of becoming an officer. "Hey Malik, you should run for student council," one classmate joked during lunch. "You're basically a superhero now." Malik laughed it off but felt a sense of responsibility weighing on him. He realized that with this newfound attention came an opportunity to advocate for change and inspire others. One afternoon, during a meeting with his guidance counselor about college applications, Malik shared his thoughts about pursuing criminal justice studies after graduation. "I want to make a difference," he said earnestly. "I want to show people that we can be part of the solution." His counselor nodded approvingly. "That's an admirable goal, Malik," she replied. "And after what you've done recently, I think you have a unique perspective that could really benefit your future career." Encouraged by her support, Malik began researching local colleges with strong criminal justice programs, while also looking into internships with community organizations focused on youth outreach and police relations. Meanwhile, community leaders took notice of Malik's actions as well. They invited him to speak at local events aimed at fostering dialogue between residents and law enforcement officials, a platform where he could share his vision for change firsthand. This realization fueled her determination to keep pushing forward despite challenges that lay ahead. After months of networking and honing her skills, an unexpected email landed in Maya's inbox, a response from the executive at the prominent advertising agency who had reached out after reading one of her LinkedIn posts. The email contained an invitation for an interview for an internship position focused on diversity initiatives within their marketing team. Maya's heart raced with excitement as she read through the details. This opportunity felt like everything she had been working toward, the chance to contribute meaningfully while learning from industry leaders committed to fostering inclusivity. She immediately began preparing for the interview, researching the agency's recent campaigns centered around social justice issues and diversity representation. Armed with knowledge about their values and initiatives, Maya felt ready to showcase how she could contribute uniquely, based on both personal experience and professional skills. On the day of the interview, Maya donned an outfit that made her feel confident, a tailored blazer paired with vibrant accessories that reflected her personality. As she entered the agency's office space, filled with creative energy and collaborative spirit, she took a deep breath and reminded herself of all the hard work that had led up to this moment. The interview panel consisted of 3 individuals: 2 women, 1 black and 1 Latina, and 1 man who served as the team lead for diversity initiatives. From the moment they greeted each other warmly, Maya sensed an atmosphere of openness that put her at ease. As they began discussing various topics related to diversity and marketing strategies, Maya felt empowered to share not only her ideas, but also personal anecdotes that illustrated why this work mattered deeply to her. She spoke passionately about representation in media, drawing from both research studies and lived experiences that highlighted its significance. The panelists listened attentively. Their nods encouraged Maya as she articulated how diverse perspectives could enhance creativity within campaigns aimed at reaching broader audiences. Midway through the interview, one panelist asked about a specific challenge related to promoting inclusivity within marketing campaigns. Drawing upon insights gained from previous workshops and conversations with mentors like Lisa, Maya responded thoughtfully, "Promoting inclusivity requires not only awareness but also intentionality," she explained. "It involves understanding your audience deeply, recognizing their unique stories, and ensuring those narratives are authentically represented." Maya elaborated on how brands could leverage storytelling techniques that resonate with diverse communities while fostering genuine connections rather than superficial representations. As she spoke passionately about these ideas rooted in authenticity and empathy towards marginalized voices within advertising spaces, a moment occurred where all three panelists exchanged glances filled with understanding. It was clear they were resonating with what she had shared. After concluding the interview with gratitude expressed by both sides, the panelists thanked Maya for sharing such valuable insights. They assured her they would be in touch soon regarding their decision. Feeling exhilarated yet anxious afterward, Maya couldn't help but reflect on how far she had come since beginning this journey months ago. From grappling with self-doubt during rejections towards confidently articulating ideas aligned perfectly with organizational values focused upon diversity initiatives. Days later came another email notification, this time containing news that would change everything. They were offering Maya an internship position. Her heart soared as tears welled up. This opportunity felt like validation, not just for herself, but also for every woman striving against systemic barriers within professional spaces across industries. The first day, Maya's first day at the agency, was filled with anticipation. She arrived early, eager to make a positive impression. The office buzzed with creativity. Colorful artwork adorned the walls, and collaborative spaces invited brainstorming sessions. As she met her team members, she felt an immediate sense of belonging. Her supervisor, Jessica, a dynamic woman known for her innovative campaigns focused on social justice issues, welcomed Maya warmly. "Welcome aboard. We're excited to have you join our team," Jessica said with a smile. "You'll be working alongside us on some exciting projects aimed at promoting diversity in our marketing efforts." Maya's heart swelled with pride as she realized that she would be part of initiatives that mattered deeply to her. She was ready to dive in and contribute her unique perspective. In the following weeks, Malik continued to engage with local organizations focused on youth empowerment and police community relations. He collaborated with police departments on initiatives aimed at building trust through transparency and open communication. One day, while attending a meeting with community leaders and police officials, Malik proposed an idea for a mentorship program that paired young people with officers in their neighborhoods. The goal was simple: create opportunities for meaningful interactions where both sides could learn from each other. "I think we need more chances for young people to see officers as real people, not just uniforms," Malik explained passionately during the meeting. "If we can build relationships early on, we can change perceptions for generations." The room buzzed with discussion as officials considered his proposal seriously. They recognized Malik's passion and commitment to fostering understanding within their community. As summer approached, Malik received exciting news. He had been awarded a scholarship to attend a summer program focused on criminal justice studies at a nearby university. This opportunity would allow him to explore his interests further while connecting with mentors in law enforcement. When he shared the news with Angela and Aisha at home that evening, their faces lit up with pride. "You did it!" Aisha exclaimed, jumping up and down excitedly. Angela hugged Malik tightly. "This is just the beginning. I'm so proud of you." Malik felt grateful for their support, but also aware of the responsibility that came with this opportunity. He knew that pursuing his dream would require hard work and dedication, but he was ready for it. As he prepared for this new chapter in his life, Malik reflected on how far he had come since that day at the convenience store, the day when he took action not just for himself, but for everyone around him. He understood now that being a hero wasn't just about one moment of bravery. It was about consistently striving to make a difference every day, about showing up for others when it mattered most. As summer unfolded before him, filled with new experiences and challenges ahead, Malik remained committed not only to achieving his dreams, but also ensuring that others could see themselves reflected in those dreams too. With each step forward on this journey toward becoming an officer dedicated to positive change, he knew deep down that together they could rewrite narratives, transforming fear into trust, creating communities where everyone felt safe and vague. Her idea sparked excitement among team members. They began brainstorming ways to implement it effectively while ensuring authenticity remained at its core. Recognizing how impactful mentorship had been for her own growth, Maya decided to give back by volunteering as a mentor for young women participating in local programs focused on career development. She wanted to inspire others facing similar challenges, sharing insights from her journey while encouraging them to embrace their unique identities as strengths. During mentoring sessions, Maya shared practical advice about navigating job searches while emphasizing self-advocacy and resilience as essential tools for success. Witnessing these young women blossom into confident individuals fueled her passion even further, reminding Maya why she pursued this path in the first place. As Maya neared the end of her internship, she reflected on how much she had grown both personally and professionally during this transformative experience. The challenges she once faced now felt like stepping stones toward greater opportunities ahead. With newfound confidence in herself as a marketer committed to inclusivity, she began exploring full-time job opportunities within organizations aligned with those values. Her portfolio now showcased not only successful campaigns, but also testimonials reflecting how authenticity mattered within advertising narratives. Maya knew that whatever came next would be shaped by everything she had learned throughout this journey: the importance of resilience, community support, advocacy for diversity, and most importantly, the belief that every voice deserves to be heard. As Maya approached the conclusion of her internship, she felt a mix of excitement and apprehension about what lay ahead. The past few months had been transformative, filled with challenges that had tested her resilience and triumphs that had fueled her passion for marketing. With each project she completed, Maya not only honed her skills, but also deepened her commitment to advocating for diversity and inclusion in the workplace. On her last day at the agency, Maya took a moment to reflect on her journey. She thought back to the countless applications sent, the rejections faced, and the moments of self-doubt that had once plagued her. Yet, here she was, armed with experience, knowledge, and a network of supportive colleagues who believed in her potential. During a farewell gathering organized by her team, Jessica expressed heartfelt gratitude for Maya's contributions. "You've brought a unique perspective that has enriched our work," she said. "We're excited to see where your journey takes you next." Maya felt a swell of pride as she thanked her colleagues for their support. She realized that this internship was not just an end, but rather a stepping stone towards something greater. "I'm grateful for every challenge I faced along the way," she shared with the group. "They've shaped me into who I am today." With her internship behind her, Maya began exploring full-time job opportunities that aligned with her values and aspirations. She updated her resume and portfolio, showcasing not only successful campaigns, but also testimonials from colleagues and mentors who recognized her contributions. Maya set her sights on organizations known for their commitment to diversity and social impact, companies that prioritized authentic representation in their marketing efforts. She applied for positions that excited her, feeling more confident than ever in articulating her unique perspective during interviews. One afternoon, while scrolling through job listings online, Maya stumbled upon a position at a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering women of color through education and career development. The role involved leading marketing initiatives aimed at raising awareness about their programs, a perfect fit for Maya's skills and passion. Maya prepared meticulously for the interview, drawing on everything she had learned during her internship. She researched the organization's mission and recent campaigns, while reflecting on how her experiences could contribute meaningfully to their goals. During the interview, she spoke passionately about the importance of representation in marketing and shared insights from her internship that highlighted successful strategies for engaging diverse audiences. The interviewers were impressed by Maya's enthusiasm and depth of understanding regarding their mission. "Your commitment to empowering women resonates deeply with us," one interviewer remarked. "We're looking for someone who can bring fresh ideas while aligning with our values." Days later, Maya received an email that would change everything. She was offered the position. Overwhelmed with joy, she realized this role was more than just a job. It was an opportunity to make a meaningful impact in the lives of others.